All set? Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to welcome you to the June 2nd Planning Board meeting. All right, I guess we got to do this. We'll start all over. I'd like to welcome you to the June 2nd Planning Board meeting. Would you join in a Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Catherine, you want to call the roll, please?
Sure. Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Mr. Kashani?
Here.
Mr. Vetter?
Here.
Mr. Malta?
Here.
Mrs. Maltman?
Here.
Mr. Gassick?
Here.
Ms. Corsi?
Here.
Mr. Artuso?
Here.
Mr. Chardy?
Here.
Okay, we have 11 items on the agenda, and 5 of them are here simply for a sign. What does the board think? We have the signs first, just get them out of the way, okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Same thing? Everything all right with that?
Yep.
All right, then, based on response, we will do all the signs prior to the 7 brew and so forth. So with that, Peggy, would you read off the first one,
Sure.
please?
So for first item on the agenda is Bloom and Blend sign located at 790 Ridge Road. Applicant Alyssa Connors is requesting sign approval associated with the installation of one 32-square-foot wall sign and one double-sided panel replacement on an existing monument sign on a 1.2-acre parcel having SBL number 079.17-1-15 located in the CO Commercial Outdoor Storage District under Section 265-7.
Okay, hi, folks.
Hi, how you doing?
What are we doing?
This is our first time here,
Yeah.
so I don't know, are we waiting for you guys to ask
Yeah,
us
no,
questions?
whatever,
or-
what's your plan? I guess you're making smoothies and so on?
Yep, smoothies, acai bowls, protein shakes.
Are they good ones?
Yes, very good. Yeah, you should come try one.
All right, well, your sign is going right in the front there, is it?
Yep, right on top of the stack.
Uh-huh, okay, I can see you here, okay. Meets all square footage, Josh? Everything's okay with it?
It does, yes.
Meets it, there's no lighting on it or anything, it's just going right in the original stand there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody, any questions or concerns for it?
Nope.
None?
Nope.
You guys are all right with it? Okay, then we'll move forward. Derek, you want to do secret?
Town of Webster Planning Board consider request by applicant Alyssa Connors to install a facade sign and monument sign panels for Bloom and Blend located at 790 Ridge Road on a parcel having SBL number 079-17-1-1.1. The planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under section 17.5C2 of the State Environmental Quality Review Regulations and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay. Need a second?
Second. Second.
Have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're carried with that. Approval for the sign, someone?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Whereas the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Melissa Connor requesting sign approval pursuant to 265-7 of the Town Code of Webster for installation of one 32-square-foot wall sign on a 1.2 parcel acre identified as SBL 079.17-1-15.1 in the Commercial Outdoor Storage District. Whereas the planning board reviewed the application material and plans submitted by the applicant, including the sign drawings and associated supporting information as presented to the planning board. And whereas after due diligence, the planning board finds that the proposed signage as presented is acceptable and consistent with the intent of the town sign regulations, subject to conditions, no conditions set forth. Now therefore be it resolved that the town planning board hereby approves the applicant's request for sign approval.
That is your motion. Okay, we need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, we're good. All right, good luck with the program.
Great, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Everyone come check this out.
Okay, have a good night.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Lucky X strike sign located at 2400 Empire Boulevard. Applicant Steve Stanley of Vital Signs is requesting sign approval associated with the installation of one 40.75 square foot wall mounting sign and one double-sided panel replacement on existing monument sign on a 9.19 acre parcel having SBL number 078.20.1.49.1 located in the medium intensity commercial district under section 265-7.
Good evening. Steve Stanley from Vital Signs here on behalf of
Excuse me just a
AG.
second before you start. Folks, all that jibber jabbering is all transferring up into the microphones here. Could I ask you to just be quiet? Appreciate it, thank you. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Steve Stanley from Vital Signs on behalf of AGI Signs here for Lucky Strike Bowling Alley for a rebrand changeover. We're proposing one set of aluminum channel letters that are going to be lit on the face of the building. Also going to change out the pylon face and remove the current Bolero sign on the east end of the building.
So your signs basically are where there currently are signs, you're just putting the new ones up in the new name.
The pylon face will be in the same spot, but the new sign will be closer to the entrance
Okay.
from
I
where
see where he's marking it.
from where the current sign is.
Okay. They're not, other than the lighting inside the cabinet, that's it, right?
Correct. They will be internally lit, both the cabinet and the aluminum channel letters.
Okay. Okay, anybody, any questions on it, or you all looked at it? Anybody looked at it real quick? Okay, moving along, give it a seeker.
Okay, Town of Webster Planning Board consider request by applicants Steve Stanley of Vital Signs to remove and replace facade sign and monument side panels for Lucky X Strike located at 2400 Empire Boulevard, on parcel having SBL number 078.20-1-49.1. The planning board classifies a proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5 C of the State Environmental Quality Review Regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay, need a second?
Second?
Have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're good with that. Want to make a motion for it?
I'll make a motion.
Sure,
Whereas
go
the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Steve Stanley, Vital Signs, seeking sign approval associated with installation of one 40.75 square foot wall-mounted sign and one double-sided panel replacement on an existing monument sign on a 9.19 acre parcel identified as SBL 078.20-1-49.1, located in a medium intensity commercial district pursuant to section 265-7 of Town Code of Webster. Whereas the planning board reviewed the application material and plans submitted by the applicant, including the sign drawings and associated supporting information as presented to the planning board. And whereas after review, the planning board finds that the proposed signage as presented is acceptable and consistent with the intent of the town's sign regulation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby approves the applicant's request for sign approval for the Lucky X Strike property.
Okay, we have a motion, need a second.
Second.
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you're all set.
Thank you. I'm also going to step in for Amy on the next one, too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so next item is J.F. Jones Jewelers sign located at 1170 Ridge Road. Applicant Amy Catalano, actually it's Steve Stanley, of Vital Signs is requesting sign approval associated with the installation of one 57.5 square foot wall-mounted sign on a 3.05 acre parcel having SBL number 080.09-3-1-.31 located in the medium intensity commercial district under section 265-7.
Okay.
Yes, so we will have a CNC routed black acrylic letters mounted directly to the building. No illumination, everything will be stud mounted to the facade. And there will be one small change to the ring for the O in Jones. We will no longer have a carved HDU sign, it will just also be black acrylic with a digital print applied to the face.
Is that sign lit at all, or just?
No, everything is non-lit.
It's an
for this sign.
attractive sign, I have to say. It is nice.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody any issues with it?
No, looks good.
It matches right in nice with that building, too.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
very nice, right? Okay. You're on a roll. Go on.
Town of Webster Planning Board consider request by applicant Steve Stanley of Vital Signs to remove and replace a facade sign and monument sign for J.F. Jones Jewelers located at 1175 Ridge Road on a parcel having SBL number 080.09-3-1.31. The planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5C2 of the state environmental quality review regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay, have a motion, need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion for the approval.
All right. Whereas the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Amy Catalano, Vital Signs, seeking sign approval associated with the installation of one 57.5 square foot wall-mounted sign on a 3.05 acre parcel identified at SBL 080.09-3-1.31, located in the medium-intensity commercial district. Whereas the planning board reviewed the application material and plans submitted by the applicant, including the sign drawings and associated supporting information as presented to the planning board. Whereas after review, the planning board finds that the proposed sign as presented is acceptable and consistent with the intent of the town's sign regulation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby approves the applicant's request for sign approval for the J.F. Jones Jewelry property for installation of one 57.5 square foot wall-mounted sign.
Okay, we have a motion, need a second.
Second.
Have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I guess you're all set with that one.
Thank you.
Got any more tonight?
Okay, next item on tonight's agenda is Tempo Sign, located at 807 Ridge Road. Applicant is Jamie Catalano of Vital Signs, is requesting sign approval associated with the installation of one 43.3 square foot wall-mounted sign on a 3.54 acre parcel having SBL number 079.18-1-69.111, located in the medium-intensity commercial district under section 265-7.
Yes, sir.
My name is Jerry Fricano. I'm the owner of Tempo Italian Kitchen and Bar and Grill. And we are involved with Vital Signs with this sign permit. With the sign dimensions, it's as you see on the paper. As far as what we're trying to do, we're trying to create a bookend effect with Hooligans backlit sign that is on the east side of the plaza. And we are going to be on the other side of the plaza. So we're trying to create that with a backlit glowing sign as well. It's just, we're gonna be, the letters are gonna be glowing from the back. It's not gonna be like a backlit, frame sign. It's basically just gonna be the letters, that's all.
Okay.
That's it right there.
What space are you taking there?
It's the old Nucci's.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, so we're gonna rebrand it. It's gonna be an Italian restaurant.
Oh, good location.
Thank you.
Anybody any issues with that sign?
Oh, that's a nice.
How bright is it?
It's just like a back glow. It's not too
Okay, so
bright. It's not like a Las
glaring
Vegas
out or
sign.
anything. Okay.
We're just trying to create a little bit of something different in the plaza. My main concern really was people driving by Ridge Road. We're approximately 300 feet from
Yeah, I
the
know,
road.
way back.
So we don't want to do anything too extravagant and too crazy, just mainly to try to catch someone's eye when they're walking into the plaza, rather than our standard signs that are in there. I currently own the pizza shop next door, and all the signs
Okay.
are, yeah.
Are you proposing anything out on the monument sign out by the
No, sir,
entrance? No?
no.
Okay. All right, I have no issues with anybody?
It's a classy sign.
Yeah, it is classy, yeah.
Yep.
Folks all right with it too? Okay.
Thank you.
Moving right along.
The Town of Webster Planning Board consider a request by applicant to Jamie Catalano of Vital Signs to remove and replace a facade sign for Tempo Italian Kitchens and Bar located at 807 Ridge Road on a parcel having SBL number 079.18-1-69.111. The planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5C9 of the state environmental quality review regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay, the motion, need a second.
Second.
You have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Okay, we'll move on to another. Go ahead.
Whereas the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Jamie Catalano, Vital Signs, seeking sign approval associated with the installation of one 43.3 square foot wall-mounted sign on a 3.54 acre parcel identified at SBL 079.18-1-69.111, located in the medium-intensity commercial district, Town of Webster, New York, pursuant to section 265-7 of the Code of the Town of Webster. And whereas the planning board reviewed the application material and plans submitted by the applicant, including the sign drawings and associated supporting information as presented to the planning board, whereas after review, the planning board finds that the proposed signage as presented is acceptable and consistent with the intent of the town sign regulation, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby approves the applicant's request for sign approval for the Tempo property for installation of one 43.3 square foot wall-mounted sign.
Okay, we have a motion, need a second. Second. You have a second, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All right, we're set, okay.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Good addition for Pod Tills next door. Little plug, Jerry. Just a little.
Thank you.
Okay, next item up, Legacy Game Sign, located at 1028 Ridge Road. Applicant Anthony Davola is requesting sign approval associated with the installation of one 13.8 square foot wall-mounted sign on a 9.1 acre parcel having SBL number 079.12-1-20, located in the high-intensity commercial district under sections 265-7.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's, there's nothing there currently, and, yeah, we're just looking to get like a backlit acrylic sign put right there above the entrance.
Is it, where's this going? Is this in the
It's
back?
It's where Paychex used to be.
I'm sorry?
It's, where Paychex used to be.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The back building, okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then,
Okay, what do you do there? What's the function of it?
it's, games, like board games, video games.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Is it lit, the sign, or no?
Yeah, it'd be backlit,
Okay,
and
just
Vital Signs would be,
the
doing
letters are lit
installation.
then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Anybody any issues with that?
Nope.
Meets code, okay. Okay, then. Move right along.
The Town of Webster Planning Board considered the request by applicant Anthony Davola to install a facade sign for Legacy Games located at 1028 Ridge Road, Suite 112, on parcel having SBL number 079.12-1-20. The planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5C9 of the state environmental quality review regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
Have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, we're good with that. We're on a roll.
Whereas the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Anthony Davola seeking sign approval associated with the installation of one 13.8 square foot wall-mounted sign on a 9.1 acre parcel identified as SBL 079.12-1-20, located at 1028 Ridge Road in the high-intensity commercial district, Town of Webster, New York, pursuant to section 265-7 of the Code of the Town of Webster. And whereas the planning board reviewed the application material and plans submitted by the applicant, including the sign drawings and associated supporting information as presented to the planning board, and whereas after review, the planning board finds that the proposed signage as presented is acceptable and consistent with the intent of the town sign regulations, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby approves the applicant's request for sign approval for the Legacy Games for installation of one 13.8 square foot wall mounted sign.
Okay, we have a motion, need a second for this. Need a second? Who seconded that? I did. Oh, okay.
Split.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Derek and I are battling.
Good with that. I know this sounds a little bit dragged out, you know, with these sign permits and stuff, but the reality is, if we didn't have this, we would have signs hanging over the expressways, you know what I mean? People would just go wild with signs, they'd be flashing lights and so on. So we do have a fairly strict code for signs, and people have been really, really good. I mean, that's why this went quick. They follow it, and we get good-looking signs in town now, so that's a benefit to us. Okay, so that's why this takes a little time, but bear with us. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good
Thank
luck
you.
with your program there.
Thank you.
Okay, now we can start.
Yep, next item on the agenda is Seven Brew, located at Hard Road. Applicant Brew Team, New York, LLC. Doug Beechel is requesting preliminary site plan approval. This is a public hearing. In association with the development of a 510 square foot prefabricated double drive-through only coffee stand on a .73 acre parcel having SBL number 70079.15-1-1.313, located in the high-intensity district under sections 269-11 and 350-19.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Doug Beechel with Brew Team New York LLC. We're a franchisee of Seven Brew Coffee. I wasn't here at the last appearance. We had a conflict, so I covered another town and sent a proxy, a couple of gentlemen, so we kind of went through the initial process. What exactly, how would you like me to present at this point for?
Well, probably one way to start would be there are a bunch of project review committee comments and stuff that were submitted. I believe you answered several of them, but I guess, Keith, there were some more that still needed to be addressed,
Yes.
correct?
So, yeah, we received a letter, I think it was last Wednesday, with 5 or 6 new comments, a lot of them having to do with our stormwater protection plan. My civil was out last week and came back today, so I don't have any official comments on these last comments for tonight's proceedings. But they are in review, and we will have a response out as soon as possible.
So you provide a drawing for the SWIP showing stormwater flow from the site to the pond. Show how the drainage connects to the Popeyes, Taco Bell drainage system. Along the front there, when that was originally designed, that detention area was like a little swale across the front of those 2 buildings right there. And so far, it's worked well, I believe. And it looks attractive, too. This is gonna need to have something comparable in front of it, but I don't know how it's gonna connect to the Popeyes or what, but that's, it kind of shows a swale in there a little bit, but
Yeah,
that area he's
ultimately.
pointing to right there is the detention area.
Yeah, I believe we're mostly avoiding that front swale.
I'm sorry?
We're mostly avoiding that front swale to leave it intact, so our drive lane is behind, basically equivalent to that Popeyes drive lane, so everything we have is behind it.
Yeah, you're coming from the the other
Yep.
side of it.
Yeah, the internal.
But on right along Hard Road, that's the area I'm talking. That swale needs to be,
So so you're asking for a higher level of detail for that swale, essentially.
well, I guess the engineering would want to see what you're proposing to do with that, to make it conform, you know?
Stormwater leaks from your lot into that low area there.
Okay,
So to the north, there is the beginnings as those lots were developed, with the bioretention. Somehow that's gotta be continued down through to in front of your property as well.
okay,
That
so,
has to be continuous, that has to be continued through that area.
okay.
Excuse me, Keith, could you turn that mic towards you a little bit, okay? She can't pick you up with it. Thank you.
Okay, that's clear, yeah, that's a little bit of clarification on that comment. So, you know, we can certainly achieve, really trying to mimic the look on that frontage and extending that swale.
Have they received these comments,
They have.
the newer comments, they've received them?
Yep.
Okay, so actually, haven't been able to address them.
Keith, I guess my question here is, the bioretention that's in front of Popeyes and in front of Taco Bell, is that sized to accommodate their facility too, or do they still need to,
Their SWIP needs to address that.
okay,
The
so
original
they
design
need
is
to
all the
actually
way
provide a
across.
bioretention to
Yeah.
address still, okay, so it isn't sized accordingly, okay.
Correct.
That's the landscape area, basically, right
Mhm.
out there, and that's all there is just that.
And I think the other one that we're still waiting on is a traffic study,
I think you got that.
That's been provided and
okay,
there were no comments.
okay.
It was done, it's accepted.
So, you're in for preliminary approval. There are some outstanding issues, I don't know how intense they are. You wanna,
I would support preliminary approval.
I'm
with
sorry?
these- I would support preliminary approval with these comments being addressed between now and final.
before final, okay.
Correct.
All right, have you got, do they have a copy? Have you got a copy of them?
Yes, yeah.
You do
we-
have,
Yeah, we
okay.
received it, I believe it was Wednesday, might have been Thursday, so we just haven't had a chance to turn them around.
Okay, everything else I think we've had addressed in there. Your trash container, that's a masonry unit around the back of that, I believe,
Yeah, it's niche hot, it's the same
like a brick.
fiber cement brick look that's on
Yeah,
the building.
right, okay. It matches the other ones then too. So actually, the biggest concern then is that boundary retention pond across the front there, I guess.
Okay, yeah, we
And then
can,
addressing the additional comments, there's about 8 or 9 of them on there, I believe.
yes, yeah, 24 to 31 are the
Yes,
the
that's-
last new
that's
comments.
correct.
So, like I said, most of those are SWIP-related and stormwater.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much left on site plan. So. I
Tony,
did.
if I recall last meeting, there was also a concern about the actual lighting of the facility. They have a very standard,
We asked them that.
Okay.
We did talk to you about that previously, that those lights need to be dimmed down.
Yeah, so we do have a shielding option
Uh-huh.
available. I do have photos, they're 11 by 17. I can approach and show them to the board, the difference between our standard LED blue light strip
Okay.
and our shielded light strip.
Okay.
And then I have, you know, just some examples of some other lighting in the area, just comparable to what we're doing on the
Okay,
other
you can
QSR
bring that
restaurants.
in for the final approval, but for the resolution, we'll put it in that needs to be accomplished.
Okay.
All right, one other thing I was thinking too is, do you have outdoor speakers there at all?
There's not like a menu board speaker, so you don't order, it's basically individual ordering, much
Correct.
like Chick-fil-A. There are speakers in the canopy that play music depending on the time of day, and that can be attenuated to whichever decibel level is
How loud
appropriate.
is that?
It's really, it's just for our employees and the vehicles that are pulling under the canopy. So there's just some sort of music
So
playing.
that won't be reflecting out into the other properties and out to the road and stuff?
No, we control it
Okay,
very heavily.
So it is controllable?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's ultimately inside the building. It's only a 510
So
square foot
then,
building,
if
but
once
there
you
is an
got-
exterior speaker.
Once you have it installed and it's going, and everything is working, and the lights are done, the lights are on, at the discretion of the board, to look at that and say, wait a minute, you gotta tone that down, that's too loud. Is that acceptable?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. All right, again, this is a public hearing, so if there's anyone here wishing to speak,
I just had one more, I think, comment that I wanted
Oh,
to
go
ask
ahead,
Keith.
sure.
It was addressed, snow storage was a concern last time too, because I think they indicated snow storage where the bioretention would be, which is not something they're gonna be able to do. Has that been addressed for where they're gonna pile snow?
We had relocated the location, let's see here. Ultimately, the perimeter of the site, we've got about a 3 to 4 foot kind of stone area above the curb that we use for snow storage, so we can avoid putting it in that swale. Anything above and beyond that, we would basically have a management plan. If
Okay.
we get a major event, which obviously happens in this part of the world, you know, we'd have it loaded and shipped out. Because it's a narrow, tight site, so we'll accommodate as much as we can on the shoulders, up above the curb. And then there is a little bit of an area by the dumpster, but really, if we get to the point where it's a problem, we'll just have it removed and placed elsewhere.
So is a snow management plan something that needs to be submitted to the town?
I think if you probably, if you can show it on a drawing where you would be putting the snow, just mark it as snow storage, I would think.
Well,
that-
no, they're saying if they have to remove it off-site.
That would be a thing they would have to do then, yeah. And they, I mean, they, in that case, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
So are you asking to show where off-site we would
If
bring
there's
this
an
snow?
area you can put it off, you know, on the site or wherever.
Yeah,
I don't know where Popeyes or any of the other places, actually, they're in the same situation, the same size lots. I don't know where they put their snow.
they're much larger. I mean, really, we're narrow.
Okay, then show an area where you possibly could put snow, and then a contract with someone designating where you, how or who would ever remove the snow if necessary off the site.
Yeah, and, you know, we're part of the overall parcel owned by Wide Waters, and there's
Yes.
plenty of area somewhere on there to,
It could be arrangements made to put it, you know, to the west of you in the back.
yep.
Yeah, okay, that, you can work that out, but you need to submit something showing that, okay? Again, this is a public hearing. If there is anyone wishing to speak either for or against this project? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Dennis Gorlick. I'm with the Conservation Board. I'm the chairperson of the Conservation Board. I just wanted to mention that we did do a site review in March on the coldest day of the year. This may have been addressed. It looked like all the areas that we had mentioned before had been addressed already in terms of snow removal and drainage and so forth. I wasn't sure, though, since I didn't get a chance to take a close look at the latest plans, we'd mentioned that on the hard road side of all the existing businesses, the sort of strip businesses, Popeyes, Taco Bell, and so forth, and then the bank on the other side, there is landscaping of some sort between the building, the structures, and hard road. And that was one thing that we mentioned, that since there are no other trees or shrubs on the original site, there may be some that are put around, but continuing that theme of some trees and shrubs along Hard Road would certainly make that have a sense of continuity, and I think something that's necessary. So I don't know if that's been put into the plan or not, but I wanted to
That's what we
mention
were
that
just
since I
talking
didn't
about.
hear that.
Yeah.
That's being addressed.
Okay, well, that was easy. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Anyone else wish to comment, or? Okay. You want to do it? You guys all right with this?
Yeah.
You all right? Okay with it? Okay, then we can move forward with it. Then you want to do a seeker on it?
Do we have to close public hearing?
Yeah, I'll close the public hearing. I should have, yes.
Okay, it's a motion for an unlisted action. The Town of Webster Planning Board consider a request by applicant to Brew Team New York, Doug Bechtel, to construct a 510 square foot prefabricated double drive-through coffee stand located on Hard Road on a 0.73 acre parcel having SPL number 079.15-1-1.3131, located in a high-intensity district. The planning board determines that the proposed action is an unlisted action. The planning board determined that the action is subject to single agency review pursuant to Part 617.6B6 of seeker, and that it is the most appropriate agency for making the determination of significance. The planning board therefore designates itself lead agency for the proposed action. The planning board has considered the criteria for determining significance as set forth in section 617.7C1 of seeker, and has number 1, considered the information contained in the short environmental assessment form, Part 1, February 16th, 2022, or 26. Number 2, considered public comments directed to the planning board during the public hearing on May, this is actually June, isn't it? Yeah, June 2nd, 2026, and completed parts 2 and 3 of the environmental assessment form. Now therefore be resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby determines that the proposed action will not have a significant adverse effect on the environment for reasons set forth in the attached notice of determination of non-significance. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board is authorized to take all actions necessary and reasonable to file the negative declaration and discharge the Town of Webster Planning Board's responsibility as lead agency for this action. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board, based on the information and analysis above, the reference supporting documentation, and discussions of the action by the Town of Webster Planning Board as documented by these minutes for the meeting, that the proposed action will not result in significant environmental impacts. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board therefore makes a determination of non-significance. Be it further resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board, based on the above reasons, issued a negative declaration as evidence of its determination.
Okay, that being a motion, we need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, a motion for preliminary approval. You want?
Yeah, I can do that one.
Go ahead, why don't you use
Yeah.
that preliminary part?
Whereas the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Brew Team New York LLC, Doc Biacal, requesting preliminary site plan approval for the development of a 510 square foot prefabricated double drive-through only coffee stand on a 0.73 acre parcel identified at SBL 079.15-1-1.313 located on Hard Road in the High Intensity District, Town of Webster, New York, pursuant to Town Code 269-11 and 350-19. And whereas the planning board reviewed the application material, preliminary site plans, and supporting documentation submitted by the applicant as presented to the planning board, and whereas the planning board held a duly noticed public hearing on the application on June 2nd, 2026, and considered all comments received, and whereas after due deliberation, the planning board finds that the proposed preliminary site plan as presented is acceptable and consistent with applicable town requirements. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby grants preliminary site plan approval for the project described above, subject to the following conditions. Subject to PRC comments, subject to a letter of credit posted with the Town of Webster, subject to Monroe County Water Authority comments. All the improvements shall be constructed according to the specifications of the Town of Webster. All roadway construction to be in accordance with the specifications and regulations set forth by the Town of Webster. All site work is to be in compliance with the standard of the Town of Webster. Conformance to submitted plans dated January 29th, 2026. Final site plan approval required. This approval is preliminary only. And then the two additional ones that I had at least written down was snow storage. The applicant shall identify and provide adequate on-site snow storage areas or provide a snow management removal plan to the Town of Webster. And then we discussed also landscaping plan. The applicant shall submit a final landscaping plan and stormwater management facility.
The continuation of bioretention.
Bioretention, yep.
That what you got?
That's
Okay, you wanted to put on it also to address the additional comments 24 through 31, I believe it was. And the speakers are to be controlled, volume controlled, and also the lighting. That was the other thing we had. Able to be, dimmed down, so not
Shielded,
not
yeah.
glare.
Shielded.
And then you've got You say you have shields for them?
We
or
have
something
shields.
also?
We,
That you can
we,
show it
yeah,
final
we had,
approval?
we used to
Okay.
have an ability to dim them,
Okay.
but the new lights, when you dim them, flicker like a disco. So shielding is a much better option.
All right, anything else? Anybody else want to put anything else in there? That's it? Okay, with that, that's a motion, we need a second.
Second.
David?
Yep.
Dave Malta, second?
Yeah.
Roll call roll.
Mr. Gassick?
Aye.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Vetter?
Aye.
Ms. Maltman?
Aye.
Okay, you're all set preliminary, so when you come in again, hopefully we got this all caught so we don't be held up again.
Yep, no problem. Thank you. I
Okay?
appreciate your time.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, next item up, Dinks and Links, located at 5 Mile Line Road. Applicant Joe Catalani is requesting preliminary site plan subdivision approval associated with the re-subdivision of land and development of approximately 39,100 square foot indoor-outdoor recreation facility on a 9-acre parcel having SBL number 079.10-1-1.11 and SBL number 079.10-1-2.3, located in the high-intensity commercial district under sections 269-5, 296-14, and 350-19.
Mr. Catalani?
How are you? I'm here again representing Dinks and Links. We've been here for, I don't know, 6-8 months now, and moved things around a few times. We're looking to construct and get preliminary approval for approximately 40,000 square foot building on 9 acres on the south side of the service road between Lowe's and BJ's.
Okay, so where are we at with this? Have you provided everything to the town that's been requested?
We have, and we've been through, you know, the DEC. The DEC, you know, we worked out a plan with them. That's how we ended up on the south side. The DEC wanted us to put everything down. We agreed to, you know, to do what they wanted us to do. We came before the town. There was a little bit of an issue with getting a permit, and so the last 3 times we weren't unable to come before you because we didn't have a permit. And come to find out, the DEC did reach out and spoke to them saying, hey, they do the permit, but they need a seeker first. That they've gone through the process with us, they've gone over it, but they needed a seeker, which is provided in the town's preliminary and final approval before they can issue said permit. And I would say to you, you know, this seems to be a big, you know, to-do, right? I'm not a social media person at all, but I got calls today at my office that, oh, there's all these people online, and, you know, they're all the negative people regarding Dinks and Links. And so I would say to you, you've got 20 people in a town of 50,000. When we did the Lowe's, and I think you were still there,
Yeah, I
we had to
was.
shut down that building and come here because there were so many people that were against the Lowe's. And now you see those people shopping there. It's a piece of property that was zoned for stuff like this. And we'll develop the property anyways into something. But this is a personal passion of mine. You look next door at what's going on outside right now, it's the coolest thing in the world. You got 15, 25 families out there at a baseball game, sitting down with their kids, talking to each other. I mean, if you want another Applebee's or another clothing store or another U of R medical center, which there's nothing wrong with that, that's great. That's not what this is. This is something about community. And where you can meet your neighbor out on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night each week, you can get a little exercise in, you can watch your kids, you can sit and have dinner while your kids are out playing miniature golf or something, and actually talk to each other. It's not, you know, this disastrous thing that people come. I think we need more of this, not less of this today. As far as outdoor noise, which is what people will speak to, we have no problem with the town coming in there and looking at, you know, decibel ratings. I've given an audio report to the town regarding how loud things are.
And with regards to, we have one, the trailer park that's next to us, and we understand their thoughts, and we'll fence the back end of that lot, and we'll put an acoustic fence up there if they want. But the audio levels that are supplied show it as a mild whisper, not as this uncontrollable loud noise. It's just not what it's said to be. It's all,
I think
you
that
know,
part
the
of it
sky
was-
is falling.
That part I think is okay, Jay. I think there's just some of the things that are outstanding issues that apparently with engineering detail were not addressed fully.
Well,
I
that,
know-
and then there's just, I want to get clarification. I'm having a hard time understanding how the DEC told you that a seeker has to be granted prior to them giving you a JD.
You could talk to Josh about that.
Yeah, I'll speak to that issue. So the DEC did reach out to me directly regarding this project. From their perspective, they thought any potential impacts from the project would be mostly local in nature, so they wanted the planning board to take the lead, be the lead agency for seeker. Normally, they'll do their own seeker for wetland permit issuance, but with the court ruling from April 8th of this year, this property is no longer under the DEC's jurisdiction. So when those new wetland regulations were annulled, that actually pulled their jurisdictional authority off of this project. I do have an email from them that I believe I provided to the board directly from the DEC explaining their support for the project and willingness to issue a permit if one was required. But future subsequent direction from the DEC has indicated that they're currently going back to the old wetland maps that existed prior to the more recent regulations. So therefore, there are no jurisdictional wetlands from the DEC's perspective at this point in time. There's also been claims that the entire site is covered under federal wetlands. That is also simply not the case. In 2023, there was a court ruling regarding the definition of public waters of the United States, and therefore it has to be contiguously connected to a larger water body to be under the federal wetland jurisdiction. Therefore, there are no wetlands under both federal or state jurisdiction at this location at this time.
So does that apply also to the north part of the existing road that's there?
Correct.
So I guess, is there a reason why we're not putting this on the north side to respect the boundaries and the vegetations that's on the south side?
This is what we still, even though the authority isn't there, we still respect their judgment, and they wanted us to put it down here, so we're good with that. They specifically wanted it to be south of the service road. Most of the so-called wetlands that they believe are wetlands are tied between that field that's open and the treed to the east. There's a slice of wet property that goes through there. And that's what they had, previously thought of as wetlands. And we're not opposed to keeping that, that vibe going. We're not here to
When
destroy.
Lowe's was built, ultimately, that road connected from BJ's coming across there, that was raised up to the elevation it is. If the roadway wasn't there, years ago, when Lowe's was built, there was no water in there.
Well, before they built the expressway.
It's trapped in there right now.
Yeah, Mr. Hagedorn,
So now, some of these things we're calling wetlands were farmed 16, 18 years ago.
a lot of it was created when Mr.
The part that gets me is, I see these things on social media, and somebody is putting the wrong information out, and everybody's sucking right onto it, you know?
That's how it works.
Everybody's sending letters that say the same damn thing.
Yep.
Well, we want to be a little bit careful because it's
No,
a
let me
habitat
finish,
that's
let me
created too
finish.
right now. So it is a habitat.
There's several things here that all these comments are coming from the same source, and they're not correct, as Josh just explained.
And I would-
Incorrect information. These guys are spending hours a day,
I know.
your taxpayer dollars,
Yeah.
going through this stuff
Yeah.
to address some of these things that are above and beyond what is necessary.
The good news is that they know what they are. And that's why you have people like the DEC. They give you the guidance. Just follow it. They're very well schooled, that's all they do.
Could you explain,
No, wait,
could you explain why the property south of the road, the DEC had a problem with? What was their issue with that?
It was
property?
north, or south of it.
I'm sorry, north of the
No,
road.
you're
I
right. No,
apologize.
it's south of the service road.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the property north of the surface road, I'm getting my directions wrong, I
Right,
apologize.
no, I get it. So did I. Because that slice, where Keith's got who's got the pointer? Erica? Josh. So in between where that field is and then where that treed area starts to the east, right there is that wet area. And so they don't want anything near there. That's, and, okay. Even though now, after the court ruling, that's changed, I'm still deferring to them. They're still smarter than me when it comes to habitat. And if they want me to put it on the south side, I'm good with it. We moved things around and we made it work. And we moved the building 3 times to make them happy, and make the town happy too.
Now, there was a letter from the owner of the mobile home
Yes.
facility there. I guess you did agree to some fencing or?
We'll put a fence at that border, if that's what they want. I'll put acoustic fence
Okay,
up there, but
it-
I would say to you,
Does it show on the plan?
it isn't, because
Okay, well, that Joe,
we
this
can
is the
put
stuff
that,
we have to
we
have.
can put it on the plan, but here's what I want to be open about. I'm trying to be a good neighbor here, right? One of the gentlemen that's right next door has a shed out there, has chairs out there, he enjoys it, right? I don't want to wreck that. There's no reason to do that. So my thought is, we build it, and if it's a problem, we'll do that. But if we do that, we take that away from him, and I don't think that there's a reason to do that. I'll stipulate that I'll do it. I'll put the fence up. I'll put the acoustic fence wrap on it. But again, I think all this noise stuff is pie in the sky, and you're going to take this guy's backyard away from him. And I just, if it was me, I'd be
Well,
a little bummed out.
Probably those discussions should be held ahead of time, so that when you get here, we've got a plan showing what you're actually fully proposing to build.
Well, our plan right now, we will do exactly what it is, and I'll
What
put
the neighbor wants, and this one, and who wants this, who wants that. It's gotta get finalized.
Well, we could finalize putting the fence up.
Well, some of these things.
I'm willing to commit to that.
So I just want to.
Stormwater drainage facilities, adequacy of water supply at site, protection of adjacent properties and general public. Well, that's what we're referring to. The adequacy of all temporary and permanent provisions to control erosion from the site, maintain existing vegetation and wildlife habitat. You were gonna show trees that would be saved, for your park area, like where your outdoor activity. Okay, well, those trees would have to be marked and saved. Well, that's gotta get done.
Well, we did give you a clearing line, we did give you the new landscaping, and once we get into it, the engineer supplied, circles around different areas, whether they be stormwater piping or water piping or sewer that we have to stay away from because we're digging in there. And then outside of that bubble, anything that we find that's healthy, that's large, that's, a reasonable tree, we keep. I mean, we're building a courtyard for
But
people.
that's, according to the code, anything over 8-inch diameter needs to be marked. I mean, that's standard anyways, we've always done that. But in this case, you've got an area where you're having a park or whatever, recreational area.
Yes.
Then where the building is, no question, you have to take trees out, But in that area, they can measure off and mark the trees in there that can be preserved, number one. The other thing too is fire hydrants. Have to go in there, I guess fire marshal is.
Yeah, we'd like to, we would sit down with him, talk to him. I believe we've met.
Okay, but all this has got to be on a drawing.
It is on the drawing, I believe, isn't it?
Fire hydrants?
Yes.
Josh, does the existing drawing indicate the existing tree lines?
Shows a clearing line, actually.
No,
Yeah.
does it show the existing vegetation surveyed line, like where the actual vegetation is on site? And does it indicate a clearing limit, and does it indicate an LOD, limits of disturbance that the project is going to have? These were all requirements as part of the sketch plan review. Same thing with the earthwork calculation to indicate how much earthwork is being performed on site.
Yeah, so the limits of clearing have been added to the plan. I don't believe the existing,
I had a very hard time seeing it on what was submitted to us. Like, this whole drawing set is blurry. I couldn't determine the existing grades, proposed grades, or any line limits. If you zoom in on what you're showing right now,
Can't read it.
I mean, I can't read this.
They should be very visible on a set of full-size plans.
The plans that we have are not.
The heavier weight lines that are labeled, I'm looking at elevation 405, just to due east of the south east corner of the building, is a proposed contour, and the squiggly lines that are running around are the existing contours right in there. So
And
that's
what are those
existing.
contour labels?
That's existing.
What are the
and-
contour labels? Can you
Yeah,
read me off the
Yeah,
contour
when
labels?
when you follow that existing around, and then you move down to where Josh just had his cursor, now, right there is a proposed, so that we can get the thing to drain. I want to
I'm just letting you know, I had a very hard reading this. There were a couple items that I just listed off that were part of the sketch plan approval that were needed to be provided on the drawing set that I have not seen. So the other thing I wanted to mention, Joe, you mentioned you want to be a good neighbor. Is there a reason that the orientation of the volleyball courts and the pickle courts are not set back farther away from the neighbors to the south that have the concerns with the project, more to the east where the mini golf course is shown, and the golf course is not moved to the south? So that way you have that additional barrier between the landowners and what you're looking to do?
So you would rather have the miniature golf down by the volleyball and have the volleyball up by the...
Again, I see pickleball and volleyball typically something to be more of
Well, the
a
pickleball's there.
noise than mini golf.
We could easily move the volley, we could swap out volleyball for miniature golf, no problem. We can do that. The pickleball courts I really can't move around, but I can move the volleyball courts away, put the miniature golf down there, no
And then
problem.
once you show the existing vegetation on site, the mature vegetation, again, emphasis is to preserve as much of the existing vegetation as there is. That could be a visual screen. It will also act as a noise barrier too. But like you said, if you provide a wall barrier, noise barrier, I think that would be appreciated by the landowners to the south as well,
Yep.
as a good neighbor.
Yep, I'll do that. I can certainly commit to putting up the acoustic fence there without a problem. And moving on the volleyball court, swapping them out with the miniature golf, not a problem. I just want the miniature golf so that there's a little tot lot there out by the patio too, so that for 1 to 5-year-olds, there's a little dirt area there within a guardrail that they can, we'll supply little Tonka trucks and stuff like that where the younger kids can play while the parents eat. And the older kids, I want moms to be able to see their kids. And so certainly if I move that down there, they'd be able to see them. It's important that they be able to see their kids while they're enjoying themselves. So, yep, I'll commit to moving those volleyball in where the mini golf is and putting up the acoustic fence.
We've got to put this thing into a package. We're rebuilding this now.
I mean, Tony, I don't know how we can proceed with a
I don't know.
preliminary
This-
approval.
But this is, I'm not arguing that part. My point is, this has been before us for a couple of months. Why didn't we bring this up before? Yeah?
I do have one question. You know, I appreciate, the good neighbor approach. And if Josh could show the aerial photograph of the parcel and the property line. I understand that parcel boundaries shown on tax maps do not constitute survey information. But when you zoom in to the low area there, I see a structure that's directly on a parcel line. I see a shed
Right, that's what.
a fire pit and so forth that is on your property. And trying to be the good neighbor, I take it you're just gonna let that stay where it is, or is that gonna get removed?
Well, you can't have one or the other. If you want the
Right.
fence up, if you're worried about that,
So
I
that-
would put the fence up, and then that would not be available.
So that's kind of the point that I'm making, is that I appreciate the good neighbor, but it's gonna take all of that away if they have to put up the fence.
Well, Derek, that area also has an easement, a drainage easement, so he's not gonna put this
Well, no,
fence
the
in
point is that the person who lives there
Yes, yes.
has put improvements on land that they do not own.
I agree with that, yep.
And
Yeah.
it's nice that he's looking at it saying, okay, he's got this area, he's enjoying the back, I'll allow him to do that.
Right.
But if we put in the fence, that's all gonna go away, and it's not gonna be 15 feet off of the guy's
Yeah.
trailer, which is very close to the property line.
Right.
As these are shown, these things could be what, any within 10, 15 feet where they actually are.
Yeah, they're not,
You know,
they're not
On
exact.
the aerial photographs, they don't quite line up as well as you think.
It's probably about 10 feet off the building.
Yeah.
Because you can see the sewer, the manholes, and on the survey, we're, 5, 6 feet from the manhole is our property line.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I don't mind putting in the fence, but I also want to point out too that.
What's that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this saying that it's very nice of you to offer to allow them to continue.
Well,
using that
again, I mean,
space.
yeah.
And putting up the fence is really gonna take that away, and now you
Yeah.
have stuff that shouldn't have been there in the first place.
It's true, but
And you're
I don't know,
two
maybe I'll
hours
get him
within your
to do
rights
some lawn mowing for us.
Yeah.
You never know.
Okay, what do we want to do?
He would do some lawn mowing for us.
You know what, let's do this.
I want
Oh,
to
I'm
point
sorry,
out
go ahead.
that this is all south of the stream. This, his fire pit, are south of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the area where we would be doing anything because of the easements and the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And also earlier, back in October, November, Joe was meeting with my CAD person, Patricia, who has 37-plus years of experience drawing alternatives for DEC. DEC, whenever you're doing something, we want to see every alternative. And that's how we got to this final design. We were on the northeast side, building there, parking there. How much wetlands disturbed? How much buffers disturbed? And DEC finally said, we like this layout. So from an engineering standpoint, the town wanted this loop road. Now we have the loop road, and it comes right into the fire lane by the building. We are going to bring water from the north side, from the 12-inch, and put a hydrant right as you come into our property, and that hydrant will be about 25 feet off the corner of the building where the fire department connection will be, the Siamese, the FDC. There are 2 fire hydrants within 400 feet, so they meet NFPA 13 for fire hydrants. There are actually 3 existing fire hydrants within 500 feet. So that's the road, that's the water. The sewer, we're connecting, as your sewer department asked, to a manhole at the lowest point where the stream is actually going up, the sewer is going down, so we have plenty of clearance going over and tying into the manhole over at BJ's. Drainage, we have a very elaborate SWIP. I think we're over $15,000 of SWIP for all the different alternatives, and we meet the most current regs with this SWIP. And lastly, traffic was done by Amy over at Passero. So, the big 5, road, water, sewer, drainage, and traffic, from an engineering standpoint, they're solid. And I've been doing this it'll be 48 years in July.
Time to retire.
Time to retire, right, okay. So if you have any questions, I wrote Sunday all day long. I wrote 6-page response to all the questions. I assume you were provided those? If you have any questions about those?
No, there's a few items marked here that are planning board review for preliminary site plan that need to be addressed. I don't want to go through them all, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items that need to be addressed.
Readdressed?
Like stormwater drainage. Have you got the final drawings for all that? Is that all set up?
Yeah.
You've got that.
Water is draining
Adequacy
across the
to tree
site.
shrubs, all right, the trees,
Storm sewers and
I'd like to caveat that. We
Go
have
ahead.
comments regarding their SWIP.
I'm sorry, say it again?
We have engineering department has comments regarding their SWIP.
Uh-huh,
It is not complete.
okay. All right, I think we were talking at PRC, and I agree 100%. I think Josh, yourself, getting a meeting together with representatives from Hagedorn Holdings or whatever that is there, and resolve some of the other issues also that go along with this. One being the cut-through road from BJ's Gas. You cannot get through there during the day. That road is filled with cars trying to get gas. That road needs to be continued parallel with it, next to it, for cars to go on the existing road that cuts through currently. An extension of that. There's a few different things that need to be resolved in this whole situation here.
I'd be happy to get together as soon as you guys can.
I'm sorry?
I'd be happy to get together, get Hagedorn.
Yeah, I think this is
Done?
what's got it. Would you, Josh, you in agreement with that? Keith? I think we talked about that.
Yeah, excuse me, so I've already begun that coordination.
You did? Okay, great.
Yep,
That's
I
great.
just found the contact for Wide Waters.
Good, then
I
we'll
have
get-
not had a chance to set that meeting.
Okay, that's good.
And we did talk about that ahead of time, even though it wasn't on our plate. And Hagedorn's, and we can discuss this in that meeting, but that retention pond that goes to on their parcel north of BJ's, that goes out to a curb cut that is a right lane only. And so if you were to make that both lanes get a traffic light there, the Hagedorns were okay with running a road straight down there and then coming down past BJ's and making a circle right where all these property lines mix, and you could avoid, the BJ's gas, disaster there.
Would that be cutting a parcel in half then, though?
No, because there's nothing they could see. Josh, you know what I'm talking about? When we
Yeah, I
talked
see
about
it. I
that?
see you got a pond
Yeah,
over
right
there
there.
now.
So it would run right along that dug,
Uh-huh.
straight across there, and then come down right where that loop right there, and you put a traffic circle there. Now, you've gone by BJ's, and you've taken traffic to a traffic light, and you got rid of that right only that everybody's taking a left on anyways. Anyways, that's a potential,
Yeah.
possible way of you to doing it. I don't see another way of getting through all those restaurants in a straight line.
Actually, you were in for a preliminary. This is a public hearing, so I think probably be fair to, if there's anyone wishes to speak either for or against this project, if you'd like to come up, just, now, well, hold on, we're gonna set some rules. This isn't gonna be a shout match, and it's not gonna be for 15 minutes up there talking. Keep it to 3 minutes, and that's it. If you can't say it in 3 minutes, I don't know what you're saying after that, so who wants to go first? Just give us your name and address and information.
Hi, my name's John La Gambino, 784 Maple Drive. Destroying a wetland and mature trees for a pickleball court displays poor judgment. Pickleball is a short-lived trend. Who remembers the tennis club of Webster on Phillips Road? That business went through many sports trying to survive, but it didn't work. The reason pickleball is a short-lived trend is because it's marketed heavily to senior citizens. Nationally, there are about 25,000 emergency room visits annually due to pickleball injuries, and 91% of those visits are for people over the age of 50. Info about the sports hazards will catch up, and people will stop taking the risk. It'll disappear like the boom we saw in cigar lounges in the 90s. Remember where those are. A pickleball facility is just the flavor of the month, and it's a boondoggle that's not worth destroying a wetland and forest. I don't see this business surviving 5 years, but it would make more sense to consider the recently vacated Myers RV location. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name's Sean Whipple. I own Sunset Valley. I guess some people refer to it as a trailer park, but for everyone in here, it's a senior citizen community. You have to be over the age of 55 to live there, and my average age of resident is in the 70s. If I could ask you real quick to pull up the map of the trailer that is on the line, and if you could zoom in that so everyone can see. This home is on the boundary line. And yes, there's some sheds and landscaping that is not on the property. I understand that. But what everyone has to understand tonight is that 50 feet off that red line are going to be volleyball and pickleball courts. The last time I was in here, you had 8 pickleball courts. Now it's up to 9. It keeps growing and it keeps changing. So I just don't understand why you wouldn't put it on the other side of the BJ's Lowe's Road, or if the developers are reluctant to do that, why can they not move the pickleball and volleyball courts away from the boundary line? 50 feet off that red line, you're going to have basically Highmark Stadium. You're going to have lights, you're going to have volleyballs that could actually hit that house, and it will be very, very disruptive. And I know the developer has mentioned, okay, we'll put up some fencing. What he's really saying is if we encourage him to put up the fencing, he's going to put it on that lot line. I'm not here to stop the project. I just would like to be a good neighbor, and if I could ask the board to look at repositioning so the pickleball or the volleyball is away from that end of the trailer park. And I still think you could look at the other side of the access road. I don't know why you have to put it in there. And I encourage everyone on the board to do a Google search on pickleball noise. 9 courts, there's going to be leagues, and sure, there might be families and all that, but it's going to be a league. The league's going to drive revenue, and, you know, there's hours of operation. And lastly, the developer said, well, I'll move the mini golf. Well, is the mini golf just going to be flat, like putting greens, or are there going to be structures? Structures such as windmills, volcanoes, or stairs. It's, you know, everything is vague. And I encourage the board to look at the developer and look at, you know, how much development the developer's done, and try to be a little more specific on everything instead of just rushing this through. I know this has been going on. Again, I think, you know, 50 feet to have volleyball, it's going to be leagues. I'm not opposed to alcohol, but, you know, people are going to be having a good time yelling and screaming, and pickleball is very loud.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to comment?
Hi, I'm Christine. I'm Sean's wife and also the owner of the property. I don't want to reiterate everything. But the developer did say he wants to be a good neighbor, and I am confused that Sean did mention it. All the drawings that have been presented, everything's on the one side of the water retention. And if we are gonna then, because we want a berm and want things moved, we're also gonna move a wall over, I don't see how that's a good neighbor. There is a neighbor here that would like to speak, but a proposal that we would love to see is moving the building closer to the homes, because that would then create a buffer of the noise. If you guys have ever been by pickleball, right now it is the #1 sport that's having lawsuits, whether it's a town or a community, because of the noise. You can Google that, you can chat it, anything you want to do. As a result, they're asking people to move those away from the residential areas, and that's what we're asking. Move the building closer to the residential area, move the pickleball and beach volleyball up towards the roadway. That way it's eliminating the volume that's gonna be close to the residents. They are seniors, not that they all go to bed early, but a lot of the pickleball event areas do have leagues that play late at night. So not only is the noise, but, also the lighting is gonna affect those if all that's going on and they're trying to go to sleep. We don't get a lot of warm days here in Webster, New York, so people are gonna have their windows open and they don't wanna hear that constant high-pitched ping noise that's constant. It's not like a whistle at a soccer game. So just some thoughts for the planning board. I hope you would recommend, before you give them approval or anything, moving things around.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to comment?
My name's Mike Ritter, and I do live in the park where Sean owns. And two things that were brought up tonight, which was kind of unique, with the DEC saying that, I guess the original program was going to be on the other side, was going to be on the north side of the road. And since DEC is not involved anymore, and they don't care about anything anymore, and they're not part of that, that's not a bad idea to put it back where it came from, over on that side. But if that doesn't happen, instead of maybe fencing, there are landscape things that could be done, such as giant greens. It's like an arborvitae, but it's deer resistant. So maybe 2 or 3 rows of those giant greens could be planted instead of a fence. Just something to keep in the back of your mind, or the planner's mind, you know, and it still looks green, and they look beautiful. I don't know if anybody really knows what a giant green is, but, you know, they grow tall and fast, and they're deer resistant.
Yeah, we've requested those in other areas too, like that sawtooth pattern with them, you know, so that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that might, you know, that acts as a fence, and, you know, the deer don't eat them.
Okay.
So, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else?
My comment is going to be quick.
Go ahead.
Kevin Lockhart, 100-2 Kettleberger Park. It's my understanding that this is a little bit premature because the town comprehensive plan, which regulates the zoning and the town code, and the 15-year vision of Webster, indicates that this is going to be converted, the parcel in question, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be converted to, do you guys know what it's going to be converted to very shortly at the end of this New York State DOS project, once it's completed? Mixed use, right? Am I mistaken? It's going to be mixed use, right? So we're having a conversation about high-intensity commercial development 2 days before a moratorium is put into place. So from the town's perspective, all of this whole discussion, what is this about, a site plan approval? The site plan approval, if we just put it off 2 days, it's going to probably be illegal to develop this development in a mixed-use district because it's being converted from a high-intensity commercial district on the zoning map to a mixed-use district, and then you got to make the case that this is, and then there's a big moratorium. So the moratorium, 6 months, we'd have to kick it. If you don't make the decision tonight to approve it, it's going to get kicked down the line 6 months, potentially another 3 months after that for 6 months, for a year, if you're following me. And then they're going to have to make the case that this pickleball facility is appropriate for a mixed-use development, mixed use being defined as commercial and residential being developed harmoniously together. But the key point, I think, is that our town code needs to be sufficient to address the concerns of residents, because the number one concern that I have is customer satisfaction, i.e., increasing resident satisfaction in the town. And that's the way we do that neutrally and objectively is through the, I'm trying to get some feedback here, is through the, Tony, or Frank, is through a neutral town code, a zoning map that everybody steers and agrees on because it's objectively.
I'm gonna stop you right now. I understand where you're going, but from a legal standpoint, the comprehensive plan hasn't begun, has begun, but it's not done. Right now, we have this property zoned as in a particular way. There's an application that's been applied for for this particular parcel, we have to legally follow what it currently is.
Thank you,
And I
Frank.
understand where you're going, but
Yes.
there is an application that's been put before the board.
We agree.
So
We're in
gonna
agreement.
Stop it right there, but I understand where you're going.
We're in agreement, yeah. But
All
in
right.
2 days from now, when the moratorium becomes activated,
We will talk about that at the
the
next
commer-
board meeting, but for this
the
board
commercial
meeting, we'll
district,
just-
do you have a vested interest in this?
cut you off.
Can you state your conflict of interest in this if
don't
it
have a
pertains?
conflict of interest,
He
but
says no
I-
conflict of interest. Okay, hallelujah.
All right.
So,
We're gonna
but
cut- we're gonna
are,
cut you-
am I saying too much? Here, Frank, you want
We're
to,
gonna-
you want to,
we're
have I
gonna
hit the 3
limit you to
minutes? Or are you
3
going to make an
minutes.
objective standard that I end now?
I limited you to 3 minutes.
Thank you.
I answered your question. I probably didn't have to, but you.
I see it was
directly
important
asked
to
me.
you that you get the last word on this.
Listen,
Thank you
we're
so
gonna-
much.
we're gonna- Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
Hello, Diana Davis. This is actually going to be very brief. I would just like to say that my understanding is that the applicant has not met the basic standards for preliminary site plan approval, that concerns of the town have not been addressed, and regardless of everything else, this alone means that approval should not be granted tonight. Thank you.
Okay, is that it?
So just to clarify a few things, the 50 feet that Mr. Whipple speaks to is totally inaccurate. It's 100 feet right now. The 50-foot buffer is there, and then there's another 50 feet before the volleyball courts. And we've already agreed that, hey, we'll move those for him, right? Pickleball also is not a fad. It is the #1 sport in the world right now. It's grown 311% per year, which no sport has ever attained. The average age is not senior citizen. The average age is 33 years old. The title last year went to a woman that was 17 years old, first place,
What is the buffer you have?
for that volleyball court. So
It's
it's just an
100
outright,
feet. It's 100 feet away.
yeah, it's just an outright fabrication.
100 feet away.
Yeah, it's just an outright fabrication. But in any event, we'll see the kids, that's all, and they can do that there, that works for me.
Just a quick run into issues like shoreline agreement before you. put
Building's
it,
been
but
moved.
that's the reason why the building, putting the easier to have those pickleball courts to the north of the building and moving everything down. I mean, I'm just thinking I don't have a vote. I'm just thinking from a legal aspect of where your line is, your property, your borderline issues that you're gonna run into, putting a fence on that property, cutting off your property.
Why would we have
putting
a-
the fence, or putting the fence right next to somebody else's property? I don't know.
Last I understood, you could put a fence on your property
You
line.
can put it right on
Right,
the property
so
line, yeah.
I don't know whether there's a
probably
legal
for
issue there.
The better place, but it sounds like you have it easier.
Well,
there,
this
yeah.
gentleman just spoke to arborvitae's, junior arborvitae's. I'm not against that. We cannot put the fence up, not put junior arborvitae's there. Green,
I
not
think that's-
giants, because
I
they
think
take up
that's
too
a-
much width,
That's
but,
an issue that can be resolved. I think we're okay with that,
Yeah.
one way or the other.
right.
We need to show something on there, number one. The other issues we've got that are outstanding, the SWIPs and so on and so forth, we need to have a more clearly defined track with this. And I believe the first thing we need to do is have a meeting set up with the current owners of the property and
Sure.
and
Do
move
it.
on from there. Because we've been going in circles on this thing.
Yep.
As far as the trees, misinformation is
Yeah.
ridiculous. I mean, where that feeds from, I don't know, but anyways. The trees can be marked out, the area where you're proposing the outdoor activities and so on. I think that can be done, that can be accomplished. Fire marshal had comments about the fire hydrants. You're saying there are already something, I don't know what the deal is with that. So that's something we have to get.
Use your pointer. Southeast corner of Lowe's, there's a hydrant. I think that's 475 feet to our building. Over at BJ's, where we're showing our sanitary lateral, there's a hydrant
right inside the Monroe County Water Authority easement. Move up, move up, move up. Right now, go left. Hydrant right there. Under 400 feet. There's also one if you go up into Lowe's parking lot.
Right.
See it right there, right at that jiggy jog in the property line.
So I'm just gonna, town code is 300 feet for fire hydrants.
It's 300 feet in a hazard zone, NFPA 13. It's 300 feet in a hazard zone. This is not Eastman Kodak chemical processing. Residential subdivisions, it's typically 500 feet. For this type of commercial, it's 400.
And maybe at the meeting, we can get the fire marshal there too.
And if you have a fully sprinkled building under NFPA 13, the fire marshal can extend that distance by 50%. So in my letter here, I said I'd like to sit down and meet with the fire marshal.
Okay, so anyways,
And I also indicated that we would be bringing the water now, not from the east, we're gonna bring it from the north and set a hydrant just as, at the corner, right as you're pulling into the parking lot. That was in my letter from Sunday night, when I was looking at how can we adjust the engineering. Backing up, the only comment I got on the SWIFT was that the central pond on the north section was mislabeled Pond 5 when it's really Pond 4. But it's correct in the routing. And now that we're talking about moving things all around, the storm sewer is going to change, the routing is going to change, the acreage is going to change, and we'll be in the SWIFT version 4. What won't change is the parking lot, plunge pool, the bioretention, and what's going on up north. If we slide the building down and we move the volleyball up by the road and we take the mini golf and we wrap it along the stream, route it, out and back, routing it along the stream, and then adjust some other things in the courtyard, totally different plan. The other thing I want to say is for anybody really old like me, Brighton Sound, we used to do sound reinforcement. And my dad was faculty at Fisher. And one year they had Brighton Sound in there for commencement. And he said it was amazing. We could actually hear because it wasn't loud. It was volume. So if you've got proper sound, it's not pushing out loud, it's just creating volume. Again, that's not my problem if it's bluegrass, all,
Tony, right now we're at a public hearing and we're still going back and forth on this. It sounds like we need to table this and we still have 4 applications to go through tonight.
all right, Keith, or Josh, can you go to the parking lot for a second?
Yeah.
This is still a public hearing. We're not reviewing the application right now again.
I guess you guys gotta know what you want the board to do. Do you want us
Well,
to
what we
table
want
this
is
or
what's up here.
vote on this? I mean, it probably makes
No,
sense.
You guys are jumping all over the place here. Let's get together. Number one, if this thing is tabled, does that cause it to fall under
Moratorium.
the moratorium?
Potentially, we'd have to vet that with our legal staff.
Why not do a preliminary based on the things that we've talked about, making changes in that meeting? We can, I'm not opposed to moving some of those things for the neighbors. The building has been moved 3 times, 4 times. That's pretty much where it is.
That's a lot of conditions. It sounds like it would be a whole revised application in order for us to vote on a preliminary and then eventually start seeker on it.
I don't know, to me, once a project has been in as often as this has, I don't know how you say that it shouldn't go there, we're putting a moratorium on building. This is something that's already started, and if you got a project that's underway, it doesn't make sense to me to stop it.
I agree.
Now, can I speak to this?
Public part was closed.
May I speak
No,
for a minute?
sure.
I understand what you're saying, but we came to this meeting about 3 months ago or so and actually met with the developer outside and told him our concerns. And at that time, he told us it was going to be addressed. We've been into the town numerous times. None of that stuff has been addressed on any of this. He knew what was going on in this meeting. He knew that in a couple days that moratorium was going to go into play. So that was his choice not to come prepared and have the town have the information. Moving that building could help eliminate some of that noise. And Josh, if you could pull up the one where it's kind of larger, if you can see where the water retention is, he is developing on the other side of that. So I don't understand why that's all of a sudden changing, and the footage and all that is changing, when that's where he was initially going to do the, so you see the pickleball, which
Yeah.
is extremely loud.
But see, your concern is for you. There's a whole lot of concerns. we
Well,
have
it's
on the
not
whole
for me.
project.
I'm sorry, it's not for me.
Well,
It-
you're-
Well, it is
you're-
a
you're-
development,
you're
which is
tenants.
53 residents
I
that are,
understand.
live in affordable housing, which you don't want to lose
Hold on,
in
slow
this
down,
town.
Slow down, take a breath. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing.
Okay.
What I'm simply saying is there are so many other things in here. That's one of them. We've
Yes.
already discussed it. We said we would try and resolve that and come up with something with that, but now we're getting into other things here.
Okay.
And where do we stand is beyond me.
Which, and that I think is what we're asking, that
Mm-hmm.
they don't get approval tonight because a lot of the questions have not been answered that were asked 3 months ago. All of these were brought to his attention. He has not given that information. We've given suggestions how we could move stuff around, but he's never changed anything. This is what I saw 3 months
Mm-hmm. Okay,
ago,
we got
pretty
you.
much.
We got
So
you.
my concern is it's trying to get pushed through to meet deadlines, and I don't
Okay.
think that's fair to the residents of Sunset Valley or all the other people in Webster. So
Okay.
I hope you really think of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Lastly, what she just said is totally fiction. We never talked about doing any of that. Yeah, we sat out there and I gave you the plans. I gave you a
All
set
right,
of
hold
plans.
on.
I never said I was gonna move the building, I never said I was gonna move
We're not gonna get
anything. So anyways,
Please.
yeah. Anyways, we have done all of our Ps and Qs. As the PRC meeting has given us comments, we've come back and addressed all of those comments a number of times. Now, just because we're going to, on the eve, switch a few things to make some people happy, shouldn't push us out. If that's the case, that.
Joe, I don't think that's the only issue, though. I mean, they've
Well-
got concerns, but there are other concerns here, too, with the town that
Well-
have yet to be addressed. Some of these things right here, SWIP's issues you have, right, correct, yet to be addressed. I think if this project falls in an area where it can continue on without falling under this new program for stopping the development, I'm okay with tabling this thing and saying, let's keep it going. That's up to the town board. I don't know where they stand with that or how that's gonna be acted. This is something that's been in, and to me, it's something that should not be stopped.
Well, you could also do a preliminary, and if it's not done for final, then just don't
We just want
accept.
to make it clear that no matter what, if we're not intentionally delaying or stopping this, there's just issues that.
Yeah.
the
But these
engineer
issues have been-
has set forth, that
But these
Josh
issues.
has set forth. I mean, we're not stonewalling it.
No, I get that,
Acting in
but
bad faith or not,
ev-
but we're just trying to make sure that.
I think it's
Yeah.
very important that this, Keith has already said he began to set up a meeting.
Yeah, I've set the,
And I think,
but that's a larger discussion with Wide Waters.
and
That's not
that's the
necessarily
whole
specific to this project or any other.
And I would say the few things that come up in SWIP, we can handle in a meeting. And if not, then don't approve us for final. But we've been here many times for preliminary. New comments have come up, we've changed things. We changed the SWIP 4 times. We've changed, and understand, okay, each time maybe there's something that's not, perfect, okay, we'll address that. But why not do a preliminary, and then if it doesn't, if we don't show the proper few items that are remaining, then don't give us final approval. Anyways,
Again-
that's my
again, the
thought.
trees would have to be marked. That should have been done
Well,
I understand where the proposed building's going,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nothing there, or
yeah.
the other areas. But the area we're showing as recreational area, it's quite a large area, it's probably half the parcel.
Right.
And
It's about
that is
3.5
something
acres.
that's required for preliminary approval. I don't know, I can't, we're trying to work with you on it,
Yep.
but I can't see how we can. I'll put it up to the board, I mean, you folks tell me what you think.
I don't think enough items have been addressed since the sketch plan and incorporated in the preliminary in order for this to proceed through preliminary approval.
I think there's still too many loose ends.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Same thing, Dave, same, all right.
There you have it.
I would not want to call a vote.
I think
with
probably
that.
for a matter of record, the 5 items that you have highlighted, we probably ought to read them into the record.
I would like to see, though, that the town board considers this to be a review that's continuing, going on and not be held up now for, if it was a project that just came in, yeah, understand that.
Yeah.
But when a project has gone to the extent and the dollars that this has cost already, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say we're stopping you now. I don't think that would be.
So I'll just chime in. In the event that the town board decides to pass the moratorium on Thursday, there is an existing provision in the proposed language that would allow for an applicant to apply from relief due to extenuating circumstances, and that would be up to the town board.
Okay, oh, that's, at least there's something there. Okay.
Yeah, and, yeah, obviously there, you've spent, as Tony said, you spent time and money relative to that, and hopefully there would be some kind of escape from the moratorium, that could be provided as a waiver, but you have, I think we're crossing hurdles, we can talk about that. Probably in another time, but it doesn't make sense right now with these outstanding issues. But it's up to you, applicant, if he wants to have us continue.
Frank, I'm not an attorney, I'm an engineer, but I am the engineer of record for Dorschel Lexus when Toyota announced the Lexus product. And we had Rick Dorschel's site plan into the Henrietta Planning Board.
Yeah, but that doesn't
And then-
do anything for
no,
us here.
Then
That's-
John Holtz came in, and the board put a moratorium on car dealerships while Rick's application was active. And there was a lawsuit, and Rick got to build his Lexus.
Well, hopefully we don't have to go that
No,
far.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is an active project.
Well, I'm not gonna make any legal representation today, but obviously that if there is that provision in the moratorium,
Yep.
Holtz did not want competition for BMW and Mercedes.
we never want a legal issue, but, you know.
All right, let's move
I got-
on with this. A motion to, what? I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, sure, go ahead. Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Just a couple of general remarks. I'm
Use your
Charlotte.
name and address, please.
I'm Charlotte Kabili. I live at 651 Cumberland Way. I am a Conservation Board member. And I wanted to mention that the Conservation Board goes out to each site at the sketch plan review
Right.
phase, and we give recommendations to the Planning Board on a number of criteria, including wetlands, trees, erosion, visual impacts, and other environmental protections like habitat. So I wanted to make sure it's very clear to the group here in the room that we have provided input to the Planning Board, and some of that input is already being reflected into discussions, and that's great. So one of the things I wanted to mention was that anytime a Conservation Board goes out on site, we are there with the site plan with us, and we can see the markings, and it is that nuanced. So things like buildings moving around, courts, positioning changing, that will affect how the Conservation Board makes recommendations to the Planning Board to account for environmental sensitivities. That's really important. So I just wanted to echo some earlier remarks that final preliminary site plan in a good stage is very helpful for the environmental protections as well. Dennis, feel free to add if you'd like.
Okay, thank you. You know, we've got a long agenda going here, Dennis. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm concerned about marking.
Go up to the microphone.
Yeah,
go to the mic.
Really, I'm trying to work on my. One of the things I was glad to hear is about, we did notice there are a number of large trees that were marked down there in the areas that's not going to have a building. You'd mentioned having those marked so that they can be identified and kept as well as they can be. I'm concerned about a mechanism to make sure that who marks them, who checks them, who makes sure they stay, and it seemed very nebulous to me. I'm not sure what the protocol is, but it needs to be a pretty strict protocol because we did identify a lot of them. And if there's big changes, we probably should do another site review. That's it.
Okay. All right, what are we gonna do here?
Sir, I have just one comment.
Can you go up to the mic?
It's gotta be recorded, so you gotta go up there.
Mike Marinaccio, 11 Westover.
Where are you from?
11 Westover Drive.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So this doesn't really affect me, but I love pickleball. I play Dinkers all the time. I think it's a great sport. But I think the noise issue is huge. And I think those courts need to be moved away from the people. Because here's a recording. This is from Clarence, where they just added pickleball courts. This is 11 o'clock at night. I'm probably like 300 feet. And it's loud. And if you're talking about, how many courts there? 9. It's gonna be loud and people are gonna be yelling and screaming and having fun. So the other question, the other concern I would also add is what time would they be shut down?
9.
Not 11? Okay. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, what are we doing? We want to table this, we have to put something in a resolution to make a motion to table it for further information, I guess. Results of a meeting between the town and the developer, right? That's the only, what do you think? All right, then figure this one. All right, I'm gonna make I'll make a motion to. Oh, wait, we're done.
Oh, okay.
We're done. Thank you.
No. I'll make a motion that we take. I'm trying not to close the public hearing because if we table it, I don't want it to be a finished product. I want to keep the meeting open, but I'm asking you, please, just refrain for a little bit. We won't close the public hearing. When this comes back, then we'll have a continuation of the public hearing, and that's my intent to do this, okay? So please bear with me now, okay? All right, I'll make a motion that we table this application for Dinks and Links until there's further review between the town administration, town and engineering department, the developers, and what else can we put in there? That's about it, really, right?
And engineering.
Well, engineering is town engineering, yeah. Okay, that would be a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion and a second.
Mr. Kashani.
Aye.
Mr. Malta.
Aye.
Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Mr. Vetter.
Aye.
Mr. Gassick.
Aye.
Ms. Maltman.
Aye.
Mrs. Maltman.
All right, so this project is tabled to a future date. Now we'll hopefully have a meeting, get things resolved, and maybe get things changed around, fixed up where it's more acceptable to everyone. Thanks for coming in, folks, appreciate it. And you had good comments, too. All right, on to the next one, I guess.
So next item is Bay Ridge Corner re-subdivision located at 423, 425, and 429 Ridge Road and 1036 and 1036A Bay Road. Applicant Scott Meesday, LS, is requesting preliminary site plan approval in association with the proposed re-subdivision lot line adjustments of 5 single-family residential lots into 4 single-family residential lots on 2.5 acres having SBL number 078.18-2-9, SBL number 078.18-2-10.2. SBL number 07818-2-10-1, and SBL 078.18-2-11.11, and SBL 07818-2-11.2, located in the R3 Single Family Residential District under sections 26911, 296-14, and 350-12 of the code.
Good evening.
Walter.
How are you? Walt Baker, DSB Engineers. I'm here on behalf of FC Martin LLC for the properties mentioned now in the corner of Bay and Ridge Road. As the board will recall, this application was in front of you back in April, and at that time it was tabled, and we do have 5 lots. And as the board will recall, the lot lines for these buildings, basically 3 out of 5 go through the buildings. These properties were actually subdivided and deeded back in the early 50, 60 years ago. So our proposal is to re-subdivide the lots and clean up the property lines, basically. And as you recall, there's 5 lots. And 2 months ago, there was concerns with the 2 larger pieces actually on Bay Road, 1036 and 1036A. How that got subdivided, we're not quite sure, but there was a house towards the front of Bay Road, and then behind it was a guest house. And the utilities, as we discussed, well, you discussed, I wasn't here at that meeting 2 months ago. I was called in after the tabling effect, and the utilities for that rear building are actually situated inside the basement of the front building. So it was built as a guest facility, a guest house, if you will, with the utilities in the front building, and they ran to the rear building, and obviously making the subdivision with 5 lots brought on some difficulties. I contacted RG&E, and moving the utilities would be pretty difficult and expensive to do. So we discussed it with the developers and proposed going to 4 lots and leaving the larger lot at 1.8 acres with the 2 structures on it, the main house and the guest house. And so that kind of resolves the major issue about the utilities on Bay Road. And they're also on septic systems, where the 3 houses on Bay Road are, 3 houses on Ridge Road are all on public utilities, water and sewer, electricity, all separate. But the 2 on Bay Road have the septic system designs from back in the 1930s and 40s. He asked us to locate those, which we had Dean Bay, who everybody's familiar with Dean Bay in town. He's a premier septic system installer. So we contacted Dean, and he located the facilities. We had the surveyor go out there and locate them and put them on the map, which you requested. And also there was a issue with drainage with the neighbor to the south, and he's here tonight if you have any questions for him. And I think he'd like to make a statement. But he had drainage issues where the water's ponding with that southern access road that goes towards the back building. So with the developer, Jim Guck, we had a contractor go out there and install the 15-inch drainage culvert underneath that driveway, and it completely drained the dead spot on the neighbor's property. So we corrected that, located the septic systems, and we're proposing the 4 lots instead of 5. And the map you see has the best we could do with locating property lines so they don't go through buildings. Obviously, we're needing to go to the zoning board to get variances because they We can't comply with the R3 zoning, which came about, I'm not exactly sure what the new R3 was put into effect. It's gotten updated over the years. I think last time it was updated was 1990. But the 15-foot side setbacks, the existing buildings, like I mentioned, were built over 50 years ago. And we tried to locate them, so we're going to need to go to the zoning board to get the variances to try to balance the best lot line we can, because they're existing properties, existing tax account numbers, and so we need relief on the setback variances. Now, if you have any questions?
The house in the back there, that was the septic system, they put a new one in, I believe, didn't they?
We put a new septic tank in,
That's what I
correct?
thought,
Yeah,
yeah,
when
okay.
we contacted Dean Bay,
Yeah,
he went out there and inspected them and located the leach lines.
yeah.
And I guess there was concerns from one of the neighbors about, are they in good working order? Found out that the septic tank at the rear structure was bad. It was an old steel tank. Remember those, Jim?
Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to have steel. So now he took it out and put a new concrete septic tank in.
Well, I guess this is a crazy situation, the whole thing, the way it was all laid out originally, and God knows how that ever got approved.
I don't know
back
either.
then, But it did.
This is
obviously.
unique.
I think you've rectified it as best you can. Just reduce it. It was 5 lots, and I turned that down to 4 by just making them one large. With the frame, metal barn, and the one-story frame house in the back, metal building. Anybody any concerns with that? We looked at it before, and,
Oh, yeah, it was a mess.
yeah. I
And,
mean,
you know, this-
the whole thing is, I
I
mean,
think
what
they've
else
done a
can
pretty
you do?
good job on this one.
Right, we tried to meet the side setback of 15 feet. We could do that on a couple to the north, which was Lot 2 and 3, on the north end of that, but on the south end, the way the buildings were positioned, like I said, over 50 years ago,
Yeah.
we basically have like 15 feet between buildings. So we
Yeah.
split that and tried to get a balance of 7.5 feet.
You know, if it gets all the variances, I think that'll clean that whole site up, and that'll be the end of it. Anybody any concerns?
No, I appreciate the due diligence on this and finding the septic tanks. That's very helpful. I think the only question I had was just not sure how to verbally explain this, but there's a frame barn on the northwestern, has a utility line that goes to a pole, then a metal barn. So you have power coming from a parcel going to a parcel that isn't part of the parcel anymore. Does that make sense? So
Which one you're?
so Josh, do you see what the two utility poles are? Move your cursor a little bit more to the northeast there.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, east, keep going, right there. So you have two poles right there. I wish there was a take control feature here.
The dark squares.
The dark squares, yeah, so those are two poles. See how there's an electrical line that goes to the metal barn to the right, but it's coming from a framed barn to the left,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on two separate parcels.
Yeah. Well, the owner's here tonight, Jim Guck, and he informed me that he had that line removed.
Okay,
So there's no power to the barn.
yep, that's all I had.
So that line is taken out then?
I'm sorry?
The line is out now?
It's been removed.
Okay. All right.
And like I mentioned, I think one of the bigger issues was the drainage for the neighbor to the south.
Right.
So we looked into that, and we had the surveyor do some limited topo out there, and he was able to verify where the best location was to put a cross culvert for that driveway and eliminate that problem.
Great.
Again, this is a public hearing, this is for preliminary approval. If there's any neighbors that have any concerns or issues? Not seeing any? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board. Everybody's pretty much satisfied, I believe, with what they've done, right?
Yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job.
Good job.
Yep, okay. All right, want to do a seeker on it, Derek? Please?
Yeah, so this is actually a little unique.
I'm sorry?
This is unique because at one level it looks like it is a subdivision, but
Oh, yeah.
in reality, it is
Yeah.
simply the adjustment of lot lines.
Mhm.
When it boils down to that level, that's all that's really being done, is it's changing lot lines. So with that in mind, it winds up being, type 2 action, so here's a Town of Webster Planning Board consider a request by applicant Scott Measley, LS, to re-subdivide 5 single-family parcels located at 423, 425, and 429 Ridge Road, and 1036 and 1036A Bay Road into 4 single-family parcels on a 2.5-acre parcel having SBL numbers 078.18-2-9, 078-18-2-10.2, 078.18-2-10-1, 078.18-2-1.11, and 078.18-2-11.2 in an R3 single-family district. The planning board has given consideration to the criteria for determining significance as set forth in section 617.7C1 of seeker and has considered the information contained in the short environmental assessment form dated May 11th, 2026, and considered public comments directed to the planning board during the public hearing on June 2nd, 2026. The planning board has determined that the action involves the granting of individual setbacks, lot line variances, and adjustments that do not involve permits. Therefore, the planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under 617.5C16 and 25 of the state environmental quality review regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay, that being a motion, we need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion for
Do you want me to do this one?
the modification of it, sure, go ahead.
Okay. Whereas the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Scott Measley, LS, requesting preliminary site plan approval with a public hearing associated with a proposed re-subdivision lot line adjustment of 5 single-family residential lots into 4 single-family residential lots on a 2.5-acre area comprised of parcels identified as SBL 078.18-2-9, 078.18-2-10.2, 078.18-2-10.1, 078.18-2-11.11, and 078.18-2-11.2, located at near 423, 425, and 429 Ridge Road, and 1036 and 1036A Bay Road in the R3 Single Family Residential District. Whereas the planning board reviewed the application material, preliminary site plan, subdivision material, and supporting documentation submitted by the applicant as presented to the planning board, whereas the planning board held a duly noticed public hearing on the application on June 2nd, 2026, and considered all comments received, and whereas after due deliberation, the planning board finds that the proposed preliminary site plan re-subdivision as presented is acceptable and consistent with applicable town requirements subject to, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby grants preliminary site plan approval for the Bay Ridge Corner re-subdivision, subject to the following conditions: comply with all requirements of any federal, state, county, and town agency having jurisdiction, subject to zoning board approval for the lot line variance, and then approvals are subject to drawing dated January 15th, 2026, revised April 30th, 2026.
Okay, that's your motion, we need a second.
Second it.
Mr. Gassick?
Aye.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Better?
Aye.
Ms. Maltman?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. Next week, we're scheduled for the ZBA. We'll be pursuing the variances as noted, and we'll be back in July for final.
sounds good.
All right, thank you.
See you, Walt.
Next item on the agenda is permanent dock located at 1060 Sunset Trail. Applicant Michael Julian is requesting preliminary final site approval and an LWRP consistency determination in association with a 4-foot wide by 50-foot long, 200 square foot permanent dock on a half-acre parcel having SBL number 078.18-1-63, located in the medium-high residential district under sections 269-11, 331-4, 350-14 and 350-30.
Yes, sir.
I'm Mike Julian, and we're here to seek a final site plan approval for 40 by 50 foot, 4 by 50 foot dock, permanent dock.
Okay. Now, how, your dock is 50 foot long you're proposing? How's your water there? You got good water there?
No, there would be no,
On both
Yeah,
sides.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any issues with it?
No.
At least the gentleman came in for a permit for it. Most of them are just putting docks in without getting a permit, so appreciate that.
he did obtain all the necessary permits from the DEC and Army Corps.
He's got the DEC,
Yeah, we got
right?
them all.
Yeah, I saw all that stuff, yeah. Okay, anybody? Any questions or concerns?
It meets all the town's requirements.
What's that?
I said it meets all the town's requirements.
Yeah.
The length and stuff.
No, he's okay with it. All right. Is this a public hearing too or no? I believe it is, isn't it?
It's public, yep.
What's that?
Okay, yes, it is. So is, any neighbors are here, any concerns or speak for or against the project? Nothing? Okay, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back. Board, you're all okay with
We're
it?
good.
Good.
Yep.
Go for it, yeah.
So the Town of Webster Planning Board consider a request by Michael Jillian to remove an existing 4-foot by 48-foot seasonal dock and construct a permanent dock measuring 4 feet by 50 feet on Arundecoid Bay and located at 1060 Sunset Trail on a parcel having SBL number 078.18-1-36. The planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5C2 and 9 of the state environmental quality review regulations and therefore is not subject to further review.
Okay, I have a motion, need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And a motion for the deck, want to do that?
Whereas the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Michael Julian requesting preliminary final site plan approval and an LWRP consistency determination in association with construction of a 4-foot wide by 50-foot long permanent dock on a 0.5 acre parcel identified as SBL 078.18-1-63 located at 1060 Sunset Trail in the medium-high residential district. Whereas the planning board reviewed the application material plans and supporting documentation submitted by the applicant as presented to the planning board, whereas the planning board held a duly noticed public hearing on the application on June 2nd, 2026, and considered all comments received, and whereas after reviewing the planning board finds that the proposed dock and associated site plan as presented and the request for an LWRP consistency determination are acceptable and consistent with applicable town requirements. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby grants preliminary final site plan approval and an LWRP consistency determination for the project described, subject to the following conditions: comply with all requirements of any federal, state, county, or town agency having jurisdiction, including any required permits, approvals for work in or near water bodies prior to commencement of work. All site work is to be in compliance with the standards of the Town of Webster, subject to all engineering and government approval. Approval is limited to dock dimensions and configurations as presented. Any material change shall be required further review by the town as determined by the planning board as its designee. That's it.
Okay, that's a motion. The LWRP really is a separate motion, but we'll
Okay.
include it in there, that's all right. We'll leave it at that. Okay, we have a motion, we need a second.
I'll second it.
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And should do one for final too, if you got it.
Oh, I did it for both.
Oh, you did both of them
Yeah.
on one?
Yeah.
Oh, we were not supposed to do that, but that's okay. It's for a doc, we'll let it go. we should have two separate resolutions. That's okay, we're good. Okay, so preliminary and final has been granted for the dock. I mean, you're all set.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, have a good night.
Next up on our agenda, RG&E Station 73, located at 891 Clem Road. Applicant Eric Thorne is requesting final site plan approval in association with the modernization of an existing RG&E electrical substation on a 0.77 acre parcel having SBL number 064.14-2-17, located in the R2 Single Family Residential District under sections 269-11 and 350-11.
Gentlemen.
Thank you, members of the planning board, for meeting with us today as it pertains to the final site plan application for the proposed upgrade and modernization of the RG&E substation located at 891 Clem Road. I'm Eric Thorne. I'm part of the permitting team at RG&E, and with me I have Rainier Garnica. He's the project manager on the project. Following the preliminary meeting that was held on April 7th, RG&E has since gone before the Zoning Board of Appeals, in which variances were granted, and we received the official approval notification on April 14th of 2026. RG&E also did receive the preliminary approval letter from the planning board from the April 7th meeting, in which conditional items were outlined, and they were considered by the project team, and updates to the site design were completed accordingly. These include extending the landscaping on the east side of the station, providing a reference to signage on the substation fence, updating the proposed flow path for the perimeter drainage, and including a reference for dewatering during construction. The concern regarding vegetative screening along the Hojack Trail was also addressed in those updates. And updated drawing package has been provided with the final site plan application, as well as a revised render set and a letter of response to those conditions outlined in the preliminary approval. One point of note, it was recently identified to us that the updated landscape plan had been accidentally left out of the original final application submittal. That drawing was shared electronically on Friday, 5/29, to the town of Webster for consideration with this application. Additionally, on May 28th, RG&E did receive the latest PRC comments, and those are currently under review. However, due to the tight turnaround before today's meeting, the relevant drawing updates were not able to be addressed and provided for this discussion today. I'm happy to run through each of the design updates one by one, but I first wanted to turn the conversation over to the board to see if there were any specific comments or questions that you wanted to start with.
Well, the only thing I have was, and you agreed to, and it was in the resolution for preliminary, was to, create a hip roof on the ends instead of the gable ends to kind of take the height out of it, but that never happened, I guess.
Yeah, so we did bring that back to our design team, and what came out of that is the choice for the gable roof, which was part of the original sketch plan comments that we received from the board, was considered to be the most appropriate solution for the small scale building, as it offers cost efficiency, construction simplicity, and reduced maintenance without compromising proper functionality and performance of the building. Related to the cost efficiencies, a simpler design allows for fewer materials, less labor, faster and easier to construct, and reduce construction time, which minimizes potential errors during construction. And just the fewer ridges with the gable roof, along with joints and connection points, certainly allow for fewer problems, such as leaks to develop. which is important when we're dealing with electric infrastructure. And inspections and repairs are certainly more straightforward from a maintenance perspective. So therefore, we did take the hip roof into consideration, but we still feel that the gable roof is a better design for this small-scale building.
Okay, anybody, any concerns or whatever you want?
I have one concern about RG. I'm having a public hearing.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Is this a public hearing? Oh, sorry.
I'll open it, hold on. Anybody, any comments?
Oh, it looks like they did address the.
I'm sorry?
It looks like they did address the comments that we
Yeah.
had. So,
Lansing,
Yeah, they
what
also
happened to the
put-
east side of the property, along that property with residential houses? We talked about that, I guess you got that in there.
We did, yes, we,
Oh, you got it, landscape.
yep, we increased the landscaping.
And they
over
pulled
there.
in some of the fencing there and the
Yeah.
gravel too for a swale, so.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay. All right, this is a public hearing if anyone wants to speak. Kevin, do you want to say something?
This isn't a public
Go
hearing,
ahead.
Tony.
it's not a public.
It's not a public hearing, actually.
It's not a public.
It is, oh, it isn't, oh, I'm sorry. It isn't a public hearing, Kevin, sorry. I thought it was, that's right, this is final. Thank you. All right, anybody, any concerns, anything else? Nothing? Okay.
Let's move it.
Want to do a final approval motion?
Do we have to, did secret, yeah.
Yeah, no secret on this.
Seeker was completed.
Yeah, that was all
Yeah.
done.
All right. Whereas the Town of Webster Planning Board has received an application from Eric Thorne requesting final site plan approval in association with the modernization of an existing RG&E electrical substation on a 0.77 acre parcel identified as SBL 064.14-2-17, located in the R2 Single Family Residential District. Whereas the planning board reviewed the application material, final site plans, and supporting documentation submitted by the applicant as presented to the planning board, whereas the planning board held, whereas after due review, the planning board finds that the proposed final site plan as presented is applicable and consistent with applicable town requirements, subject. Now therefore be resolved that the Town of Webster Planning Board hereby grants final site plan approval for the project described above, subject to the following conditions. So PRC comments, which would be part of our standard ones. Preliminary approval conditions, which were incorporated, subject to all applicable government fees. Significant construction shall occur within 1 year, as deemed by the planning board to expire, I had June 2nd, 2027, based on today. The conditions of preliminary and final approval are depicted on the cover page of the final design plans. The engineer for the proposed project shall provide a letter of certification that all proposed work was completed as per planning board resolution of final approval before a certificate of occupant will be issued. A letter of credit to the town for the project shall include the fee for the engineer's final certification inspection of the site, subject to resolution of the final approved minutes. And then I had approval subject to drawing, but I think the drawing got changed, whatever the date is of this most recent one that we've
What is your
gotten.
current drawing number, do you have it?
Or the last revision date.
Down on the bottom.
I think it's on the left side.
Revision date is 5/15/26.
Okay, 5/15/2026.
Okay, that's your motion. We had a motion, we need a second.
I'll second it.
And a second, David Walter.
Mr. Gassick,
Aye.
Mr. Malta,
Aye.
Mr. Kashani,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mr. Vetter,
Aye.
Mrs. Maltman.
Aye.
Okay, you're all set.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, tonight's last final agenda item, Webster Union Cemetery, located at 345 Webster Road. Applicant George Baker is requesting preliminary final site approval in association with the addition of 1,740 graves and an associated road on a 18.4 acre parcel having SBL number 050.03-1-24, located in the R1 Single Family Residential Districts, under sections 269-11 and 350-10.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
George Baker, Webster Union. We're trying to expand the cemetery. We're getting low on inventory. And if we don't have inventory, we don't have a business.
That's not a good thing, is it? That's a heck of a sales pitch you just gave.
It's as simple as that.
How can that be denied?
Well, the Division of Cemeteries, which is part of the Department of State, says we have to come and ask the town if it's okay to expand the cemetery, do what we want to do. So that's why I'm here.
Okay. A well-needed project.
Or noise.
None at all.
Okay, so there's none of that, this project. I
Just
didn't think so. Oh,
speaker for this.
With the addition of 1,740 graves and an associated road on an 18.4 acre parcel identified at SBL 050.03-1-24. Residential district to the planning board. Site plan for the cemetery, Town of Webster Planning Board hereby grants having jurisdiction to the specifications and applicant 1 year is deemed by the planning board to expire on June 2nd, 2027, and then approval are subject to drawing number. Can you zoom in on the bottom right, please, Josh? (2532C), dated 5/8/2026. Revised 5/15/2026.
Okay, that being a motion, need a second.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you're all set. Good luck.
Thank you.
Remember, no parties. No late night parties. We'll see ya.
So we just have minutes left? Minutes? Minutes?
Oh, that's nice.
We got to do the,
We have an administrative thing,
Wait a minute, Mark, hold on a minute. Mark's not here, so we've got,
Peggy.
do you have them?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
I reviewed them.
Okay, you're all right
Yeah,
with
she
them?
did.
Okay, motion to approve the minutes of, what was the date?
May 5th,
May 5th,
May 5th.
2026.
Okay.
my birthday, that's why I wasn't here.
Second?
second.
Motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're good. Okay, is that it? No, we're done?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, with that, I guess we're all set for this evening. Thanks for coming in.